Welcome to the Cash Flow Couple Podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Wynde Williams. How you doing? Here with my husband, Johnny John Williams.
Not in the basement.
Not in the basement.
So usually it's in the basement, but we're not in the basement. We're actually enjoying outside today.
Yes, it's got a nice cool breeze. The sun is out, but it feels
good today.
really good today.
It's not that scorching, overly humid weather we usually have here in the summer. So today is a good day.
We had a severe thunderstorm yesterday. I mean, the lightning was like right there.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I actually enjoy storms like that.
I do too.
I like sitting outside and, well, not in the rain, but I like sitting outside like on the porch or in the garage or, not getting wet, but watching the storm. I actually enjoy that.
I do too. I like to look at the lightning coming down and watch the rain come down. It's very peaceful, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yep. So today I thought we would talk about the 4 ways to generate leads. So here's what we've got. They are farming, fishing, hunting, and scavenging. I'll say that again. Farming, fishing, hunting, and scavenging.
Yeah, and these are like categories we put lead generation into.
Right. So we've come up with a list of all the ways that we can think of to generate leads, and we've put them into these 4 categories. And I think lead generation is the core of every investing business that I can think of, whether you're a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, regardless of what you do, generating leads is probably the most important part of your business.
I would say that's true for most any business that has customers.
Yeah.
Lead generation is where it all starts, right?
Right. Yeah. And, I was reading that millionaire real estate agent book written by Gary Keller.
Gary Keller book,
yeah. And they talk about lead generation a lot in that book. And he gave the analogy of lead generation as a shark, which was kind of cool because he said that it can't, how sharks always have to be swimming or else they'll drown. And that's the way that it is with lead generation. You always have to be generating leads regardless. You can't ever let it idle. It can't ever sit still. So you always have to be focused on it and doing something.
That's right. Sharks have to move to breathe, basically.
Right.
So they don't, some fish, like they force the water through their mouth over their gills, but sharks aren't like that. It goes across their gills when they move through the water. So that makes you wonder, like, how do sharks sleep?
I was just about to ask that question.
I think they don't sleep a lot, apparently. I'll have to go look this up. This used to be something that I knew more about, but there's something to that. Like sharks are like moving in their sleep, or maybe they're sleepwalkers. Well, not walkers; they don't walk.
Sleep swimmers.
Sleep swimmers.
Sweep swimmers. Okay, so let's start with the first category, which is farming. And farming is basically just planting seeds.
Right. So you're planting seeds that are going to grow.
Right. So that farming, right. So that would include things like telling everyone what you do, going to networking events, giving out your business cards. What else?
Networking with local officials, I think, is a really good one. Like your mayor, your town council, that kind of thing, letting them know what you do and, how you can benefit the community. Another big one on that list would be Oh, geez, I lost it.
Calling property managers.
Property managers. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're not going to call up a property management company and say, "Hey, what do you got for sale?" It's going to be, if you have clients that are looking to sell, we're looking to buy type conversation. And it's kind of, you're planting that seed and you're doing it over and over so that, when something comes up, you'll get a phone call back.
Right.
So all of these are like that. You're planting the seed. It's not a particular property you're going after. It's not it's not
specific.
Yes. It's not even, it's not advertising. That's something else. It's
telling everybody what you do.
Yes. And that's your referral business.
Right. That's the referral business.
So farming is where you'll get lots of referrals from if you do it correctly. But that's farming. It's kind of planting the seeds, waiting for them to grow, that type of thing.
Right. And we do this with property managers on a monthly basis. So at the
and telling people what you do, being on Facebook and saying, "Hey, we're flipping this house," or we're just letting people know what's going on in your business. I consider that seed planting as well, because people will see that, but then they'll remember you down the line, and then you get the benefit of the crop that you've planted. But it takes time. Farming isn't something that you do overnight. You plant the seed, you water it, you wait for it to grow, and eventually it bears fruit.
Right. Yeah. And divorce attorneys too.
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of ways. There's all sorts of people that you can connect with. Divorce attorneys is a good one. Mm-hmm. If they come across a client that is going through a divorce and needs to sell, perhaps we have a solution for them. One that we've actually tried, but hasn't borne fruit yet, but talking to mortgage loan originators.
That's right.
Oftentimes, folks who get in trouble financially, the first thing they do is try to go borrow more money, kind of borrow their way out of it. And oftentimes they don't qualify. That's why they're in financial trouble to begin with. But, if you had a relationship with a mortgage broker, perhaps they could give that person your card and say, "Look, I can't help you. Maybe, this is a solution for you," type stuff. We've done that with the clerk of court in different counties.
Yes.
We've said, "Hey, if you've got people that have come in and they're going to get foreclosed on, maybe we can provide a solution to them." So all of those things are kind of planting seeds that hopefully will grow into something you can harvest.
Oh, that's a good analogy. I really like that. So that's farming. Now let's go to fishing. And I think I'm pretty good at farming, but I like fishing also. And I think of fishing as casting a line to see what you catch.
Yeah.
So that would be something like having a website or putting out Facebook ads or Craigslist ads.
Or direct mail.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, fishing is mostly advertising.
That's advertising.
It's direct advertising, but it's, when you put out an advertisement saying, "We buy," you see this all the time, "We buy houses cash," or whatever the advertisement is, you don't know what you're going to catch. It's kind of just like when you're fishing, you cast the line, you have a lure, maybe you're fishing for bass, but you can't target bass specifically. I mean, you kind of can. There are lures for bass, but you're going to catch sunfish, right? You're going to catch whatever else is in the pond along with what you're trying to, fish for directly. So that's kind of why advertising is kind of like fishing. And that's kind of why I like to think of it in that category.
I like that analogy. That's really good.
Yeah.
Bandit signs.
Bandit signs would
I
be
could think
fishing.
of another one. What about email marketing?
I think anything where you're advertising is fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess some people would say, well, my business cards are advertising, but that's really more planting seeds.
I think so
because
too.
It's person to person. Advertising is very much see, when you say email, that's sort of like direct mail. It's just electronic, right? So some of these you kind of start blurring the lines because you can email to targeted groups, but at the same time, fishing is much more. You don't know what's going to be on the end of the line, if anything. You're casting a line, you're casting a net, and seeing what you can bring on board the boat,
right,
or on shore, or wherever you're fishing from. To complete the analogy.
I love it.
Yes,
that's a good one. And the next category is hunting, and I think of hunting as being very target specific. You know what you're going after, and you just go in for the kill, kind of, sort of. So I think of it as driving for dollars. Maybe you find a vacant house, and then I'm targeting that house.
And I'm out hunting.
Exactly. You're targeting that specific house.
I don't like saying it this way because it's like I'm hunting for my prey. I'm coming for you.
Coming for you.
But it's more direct action on specific properties. Maybe it's I go down to the courthouse and compile a list of tax foreclosures. And now I know where those, so I go out hunting for them. Right? It's much more direct. It's much more go out, shoot something, throw it over your shoulder and haul it back home. It's hunting is very different from fishing. Right.
Yes.
I'm hunting for deer. I don't shoot at squirrel. But when fishing, I don't know what's going to be on the line. Right. So that's, the analogy difference. So you're laser focused. You're going after this thing, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to hunt it down and bring it home.
So you can do things like go down to the courthouse and look for probate leads.
Yeah, that would be another one.
Foreclosure leads.
That would be another one.
Tax liens.
Yes.
Code enforcement violations.
Yeah, those are good. One I heard of recently that I thought was pretty brilliant, if you can get it in your municipality, but look for water shut-off lists.
Water shut-off lists.
Yeah, because when the city cuts the water off, it probably means there's no one living there, right? So
is that at the courthouse?
I would think that it's not going to be filed at the courthouse because it's not a lawsuit.
Right. So
that's only
would
legal
be
things. So it's going to be at the the city works department.
Oh, okay. So can you call the city works department and?
Well, like anything, if you go to them and say, "Hey, I want a list of," and they'll be like, "Well, we don't compile a list."
Right.
So you kind of have to. I've found you have to go ask questions. Even if you're looking for foreclosures and you go down there and say, "Hey, where's your list of pre-foreclosures?"
Right. Yeah, you can't do that.
Now, Mecklenburg County has kind of a list.
That's true. Mecklenburg County does.
But if we go to Rowan County, for example, they don't have a list.
Right.
So they'll say, we just don't have a list, and you kind of walk away. So I find whenever you're, and this is kind of off topic, but I find whenever you're looking for something like that, you have to ask questions like, if I wanted to know all of the properties in Mecklenburg County where the water is shut off, how would I find that out?
Ooh, that's very good.
See, that's different than asking for a list, because now they're going to have to go work and figure out how to give you that information.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's public record. Anything that's that's government files is subject to public scrutiny. Ooh. Usually.
Water shutoffs. Ooh, that's really good.
So I thought
that's
that was
creative.
A really good one, right?
That's a good one.
That would be a good way to locate vacant properties.
Right. Yeah, that's excellent.
And recently vacant properties.
Right.
If they just had the water cut off, maybe it's one that nobody's noticed yet, driving for dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good one.
So that specific one's good, but I'm hunting.
Right.
I'm getting that list. I'm saying, okay, here's some properties I'm interested in, and I'm going after those specific addresses.
Yes. So it's very target specific.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the last category is scavenging.
Yes. So scavenging is,
I think of it as piggybacking off of what other people find.
Right. So someone else has done some fishing or some farming or some hunting, and they've, again, I don't like these analogies in this way because they've gotten their kill.
I think it's awesome.
I know, but so much the business is about helping other people. And so when you start talking about they're your prey and you're
prey.
bringing home a kill, then that part of the analogy kind of doesn't work. But it gives you the visual. You've gotten a deal, you've negotiated something, and now it's not your deal. I'm going to go scavenge off of it. So, for example, I'm going to co-wholesale something.
Co-wholesale?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Like somebody else has the deal. I'm going to try to, co-wholesale it. That's scavenging off of someone else's deal.
Would buying from a wholesaler be considered scavenging? I feel like it probably would.
I think it could be considered that way. I mean, I don't think you can put everything in a box.
Yeah.
But I think you could construe it that way. Someone else has the deal.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're paying for it, but you didn't go out and hunt it down. You didn't fish it. You're going to make money off of it.
Yeah, that's how I think of it.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I think scavenging is something that can be bad. Like you see people piggyback deals all the time, and they really don't have a relationship with the person that actually has the contract, for example. You see that all the time. I think that's unethical scavenging. If Wynde gets a deal and we know each other and we both agree and have an agreement to co-wholesale that deal, yeah, it's still, I'm scavenging off of her, hunting or fishing or whatever she did, but at least it's upfront and honest. So I think there are ethical and unethical ways to do all of these, really. But scavenging is one where I see a lot of kind of shady stuff.
Don't
stuff.
You? Mm-hmm.
You'll see things, you hear daisy chains all the time.
Daisy chains. That's the word that I was looking for. Daisy chains. Yes.
So you see the same property come around and it's like, who actually has this under contract?
I remember thinking that exact same thing a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we did see a property like that.
Yep, we sure did. So what about, I think being a buyer's agent is also scavenging?
I would say that was scavenging. It's probably the most common that you see.
I would think so. That and wholesaling.
But someone else has the listing. It's their deal. They're trying to sell it. You're bringing the buyer. It's not that you're not bringing some value to the deal, but it's not your deal.
Right.
You're scavenging, but it's a valid way to make money. It's one of the 4 ways to do it. I think it's the least preferable, but it's a way. I mean, kind of my analogy to that is who eats better, the lions or the hyenas?
Oh, that's true.
Right? Or the buzzards. We have this stupid turkey vulture things here.
That's true. That's a good analogy. I like that one.
They like waits for somebody else, something else. Like the cat goes and kills something, toys with it, eats the part she likes, and then the birds come down and get the leftovers. And it's not that they don't get fed, but they don't get the best parts, know. The lions get the good stuff, and then what they don't want, the hyenas can have.
Hyenas, yes.
Well, they're scavengers.
That's good stuff right there.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
So, I mean, I think of it that way. I was like, I'd rather be the hunter. I'd rather be the lion than the hyena, but hyenas got to eat, man.
Hyenas got to eat.
I'm going to get a t-shirt that says hyenas got to eat.
Oh my God!
What's that thing we used to say? Baby got to eat, or something? What was that?
Yeah, we did used to say something like that.
Yeah, I forget. It came from somewhere. I don't
probably
remember,
a movie.
But that's what it makes me think of. Hyenas got to eat.
Hyenas got to eat.
Buzzards got to eat.
Buzzards. Remember that time that you shot at the buzzards?
Yeah, don't tell people that. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Ixnay on the shot day of the buzzards, eh?
I didn't harm them.
But no, it was funny because the next day they came in and ransacked our stuff in our yard.
Yes, the turkey vultures around here are like a gang.
Yes.
We have those high tension wires, not across our house, but close by, close enough to see them. And the turkey vultures hang out there. Is that the right word for them? Turkey vultures? They're like those big black birds.
That's what I call them, buzzards.
Like roadkill and stuff or whatever.
Well, I call them buzzards.
But yeah, they were in the yard one day. There was a bunch of them here, and frankly, they were stalked. We had a cat that was on the way out.
Yeah, bless her heart.
And so that's what they do. I mean, they kind of wait around. They're like, "Hey, can you die already? We're kind of hungry."
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
I mean, it's kind of sad, but that's the truth of it. But anyway, they showed up, and I was just kind of trying to keep them out of the yard. I was like, "Leave my cat alone," you know. And
let her die in peace.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was messing with them to get them out of the yard. I didn't kill any of them or hurt them or anything, but I wanted them away. And they didn't like that. The next day we were gone. I came back and they had, pecked their way into, we had some soil, a big bag of soil sitting out here.
Mm-hmm. Part of our trash can.
Yeah.
And part of our trash
all over
was
my
out.
Car.
Yep. They pooped all over your car.
It was like obvious that
it was.
Yes.
It was insane. They have not done that since. They've never done it before. They've never done it since. Those things are ruthless.
Yeah, and they're like a gang. So I don't know how we got off on that, but
anyway,
I got visited by the turkey vulture mob.
The turkey vulture mob. That sounds like a cool band name.
Yes. So anyway,
let's wrap this up.
Scavenging.
Yes.
That's scavenging. So my thought would be, along those lines, once you put things in categories like that, why is that valuable?
Well, it helps you focus on one thing at a time, or to see what you are good at, I think. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like I know that I am good at farming. I'm really good at farming, so I can go do farming. I can do it really well, and then I've planted those seeds. So now I can maybe move on to fishing. Right. And I can go do fishing really, really well and focus on it. But I would say that it takes time to do these things.
Yeah, any of these things you have to be consistent at. But I kind of along the lines of you were going on. I would say, who's better at fishing? Somebody that fishes all the time, or somebody that's a farmer that sometimes fishes?
I see what you're saying. So you focus.
Focus, yeah. But if you categorize things, at least you have an idea of what you're doing. If I'm doing these things, are they related? If I want to get really good at fishing, then let's focus on fishing activities and not say, oh, well, that guy over there is a really good hunter. Maybe I'll go be a hunter today. Right,
but it takes time. I mean, give it a good 6, 7, 8 months to really get good at fishing
farming
or whatever you decide to do. Don't just give it a month or two. I mean, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and that was kind of my point. I think a lot of folks, they'll send out some mailers.
Yeah, they give up too fast.
Which is fishing, right? And they're like, "Hey, I didn't catch any fish. Maybe I'll go hunting."
Right. Consistency is key.
I didn't catch anything on my hunt. Well, maybe I'll, be a farmer. And so you never really get good at anything. You never have any consistency to your lead generation and your marketing, because you're constantly changing what you're going to focus on. So I think you're right. I think that's one benefit of categorizing things, because it keeps you in the lane that you're good at. It keeps you focused on, the types of lead generation that eventually will work, because all these things take time. You have to be patient when you're fishing. You might catch some things that you aren't really looking for. If you're farming, you have to take time for those seeds to grow, take time for the plant to get bigger and to harvest that crop. If you're hunting, then sometimes you have to be really patient. I mean, think about hunters that hunt for deer. They go out way early in the morning, sit in a blind and wait, and they're looking for deer. And they're waiting for deer to come by, or they're putting out deer corn, but it's a very, to your point, spend some time on it, become not crafty, but become good at your craft is what I was trying to get at.
That's one thing that they talked about also in that Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that I've been reading was consistency and being persistent and consistent in your marketing.
Yeah, I think that's important.
I think it's key. I really do.
And that's where you'll build lead generations. Like, I know people that all they do is fish. They do direct mail. That's it.
And it works for them.
But it's because they've gotten really good at fishing.
Yep.
They've figured out which lure to use.
Yep.
When to go fishing. Where to fish. And that translates to what type of advertising do I use? Who do I send it to? Right? Do I send what times of the year or how often do I send it out? What
to say in your letter that you send out.
And if you don't spend enough time fishing, you're not going to learn those things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think that's a great analogy. But anyhow, so putting things in 4 categories, I think, helps you
focus.
It helps you focus, and it helps you categorize what the heck am I doing? What type of lead generation it works for me? What am I good at?
What do you think you're good at? I think I'm good at farming.
I think farming is something we are both good at. I'm not so much a hunter. Fishing is something that I am attempting more recently to be better at. But I think we're both kind of more or less farmers. A lot of the stuff we get ends up being referrals or something like that. But we have had success fishing before.
Yes. So we're dipping our toe into fishing a little bit more here recently. So it's going to be interesting. So thank you for joining us. This wraps up this episode of The Cash Flow Couple. If you would like to contact us, we can be reached at, the Facebook page at The Cash Flow Couple. And our email is info@thecashflowcouple.com. Thanks for joining us. And if you found value in this, we have a YouTube channel at The Cash Flow.
Also The Cash Flow Couple.
The Cash Flow Couple. And like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And leave us some comments. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So thanks for joining us. And merci. A bientôt.